Hello everyone, welcome back to How to Create a Speed Simulator Part 3. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to create coins that will randomly spawn around the map and give the player currency when they collect them. Now before we get into the video, I would like to announce that I now have a Discord server. All the models and scripts that will be in this video and future videos will be located in that server. There is a link in the description, please join it. Now let's get into the video. So the first thing we're going to want to do is take this coin that we have. Now if you haven't already, you're gonna want to put it in server storage because we're going to be making duplicates of these. The next thing we need to do is make it so they spawn. So we need to start by collecting our X and Z axes. The best way to do this is by taking a part and getting the position in the 3 positions you need. So I'm going to put a part in this corner, go to the position tab right here, and see if the first or third number changes. So when I move it this way, we can see that the third number changes. So this is the Z axis. So now that we know this, we can create a script inside server script service, and we're going to call this coin spawning. Now, of course, the first thing we're going to define here is the coin. So local coin equals game.serverStorage coin wait for child coin. Now that we've done this, we can go down a line and start setting up our loop. So we're going to start with while true do to keep this running, and then we're going to put a wait timer in here. Now the number you put in this wait timer is how long you want between coins spawning. So I am going to personally have 5 seconds between each coin spawns. Next, we have to create a clone of the coin. So local coin clone equals coin colon clone. Now that we've created a coin clone, now we need to define what its position is. And this is where this comes in, because we're going to actually set its position to random numbers. So we will start with local x equals math.random, and local z will equal math.random. Now, we're going to start with Z because that's the axis I chose first, but depending on where your part is, you would choose either. Now we can see that if we open up the position, that the starting position of this part is approximately 72. But that is the highest number, and it goes down. So what we're going to do is take 72 and put that as the number there. And then we're gonna have a comma, and we need to get the number before that. So we're gonna drag our part all the way over here and see what our z-axis is now, which would be negative 69. So we can paste that in, and now you see we have a math.random equation for negative 69 to 72. Next is our x-axis. Now, first let's see if this is the lower point or the higher point with the same strategy. So move it forward and see if the number goes up or down. We can see that the number is going down, meaning that we are at the lower value right now. So we're going to start by going to our x and inputting the x-axis, so negative 67. Then we're going to again put a comma before this number, move our part all the way over to the other side of the map, and get the new number, 79. So we will put that 79 before the negative 67, and now we have defined these two coordinates. Next, we need to set coin's clone's position. So coin clone dot position equals vector3 dot new X. Now I'm just going to look at the coin and check its y-axis. So 2.75, so X, 2.75, then Z. Now after we have done this, all we need to do is put the coin into the workspace. So coin clone dot parent equals game dot workspace. Now we can remove this part, and we will see that if we go into the game, once we load in, we can look around and wait a few seconds for our coins to start spawning. And while we're waiting, I'm just going to check output to make sure there are no errors. And it seems we did have an error. So let's open our script back up and see what the problem is. And I spotted it right away. I had -67 before 79. Silly me. So instead, we're going to put that before, so it says -67 and 79, because it's impossible to choose a random number between a higher number and then a lower number. So make sure your script looks just like this, and then you can go back into the game. Now we can see that our coins are spawning. We already have one right here, another one spawned right there, and our coin spawning script is working as intended. Now what we need to do is create a new player variable called coins. So to do this, we're going to go back into player stats and define a new variable. So local coins equals instance dot new number value coins dot name is going to equal coins dot parent is going to equal leader stats, and coins dot value is going to start off as 0. Now that we have done that, let's just check to make sure that our coins value is working. And sure enough, it is. So now all that's left to do is to program this coin so when it's touched, it will give the player a coin, which is simple enough. We're going to create a script inside the coin, and I'm going to call this touch script. And we are going to start by defining the coin. So local coin equals script.parent. And then after that, we can go coin.touched, con connect function. And then inside here, we're going to have touch, which is going to be the part that the coin touched. Now, the way we can find out the player is by, one, getting that touched part's parent's name, and then checking in players to see if it was a player. So, local touched parent equals touch.parent, and then local player check equals game.players colon find first child touched parent dot name. And then the reason we used find first child is this actually returns a bool value as well, telling us if it found it or if it did not find it, meaning it won't break if it did not actually find the player. So now we're going to put in the script if player check, oops, I put pairs, so if player check, then we are going to say player check dot leader stats dot coins dot value is equal to, and then let's just copy this, player dot leader stats dot coins dot value plus 1. And then we're going to remove the coin, so script dot parent dot parent, make sure to include that second parent, equals nil. And now we can finally see that if we go into the game, we can see that all three of our scripts work. The coin spawning is working, our new leader stats variable is working, and if we walk into the coin, we gain a coin and the coin is removed. Thank you all for watching this video. If you don't want to miss out on part 4 or just see my future videos, be sure to subscribe to the channel and consider joining the Discord. See you next time.